Hello again in part 2 of my link click trailer analysis. I know I take a long time to post, but I prefer to gather as much information and as many ideas as possible that are closest to logic instead of posting quickly. In this video, we'll talk about early hints about the content of Season 3 and what agreements took place. One of the most important scenes in the trailer is the deal Liu Xiao offers while sitting with Xiafei and Xiaoling. But before that, we need to talk about Xiafei's words.
你是故意的吗？你明明知道老板他已经死了。
Even though this scene shows Lu Guang, the words might not actually be directed at Lu Guang. After the massacre, Xiafei got implicated. Or maybe the big shots behind the victims started chasing him. Maybe the person who secured his disappearance later was Liu Xiao. Liu Xiao made a new deal with Xiafei. Cooperate with me on something, and I'll give you information about Vane's strange death. Of course, Xiafei will know he's being used, but he'll agree anyway. What I mean is that Liu Xiao's voice talking about the deal might be from a different scene with Xiafei, and doesn't involve Xiaoling. This is something the Pain album art might have already hinted at. When Liu Xiao cooperates with Vane and they sit together, Xiafei is standing alone. It's similar to what we saw in the Hot-Headed album. Xiafei sits with Liu Xiao where their cooperation is what we see most on screen, while Vane sits away from them but in the middle. Meaning he's the mediator between them, because Liu Xiao was the one who asked Vane to bring him a spy, and he chose Xiafei for it. But this time it's reversed. This time, Liu Xiao is the one sitting in the middle, acting as the mediator between Xiafei and Vane. We notice that Xiafei gives Liu Xiao 3 keys. The 3 keys could symbolize the gospel connected to Pain's album and hint at grace, forgiveness of sins, salvation, enlightenment, and truth. And we know that Xiafei is an important person and a key witness to the Bahati incident. He probably has information that Liu Xiao wants. Anyway, Vane probably doesn't know anything about this deal, but I don't think he'd care much even if he did. It's possible that one of Liu Xiao's requests is to bring him Xiaoling so he can give her a piece of paper or a piece of a burnt photo to help him with something. Based on hints I noticed before, Xiaoling inheriting Xixi ability might not be a coincidence at all. It might be part of Liu Xiao's plan. Xiaoling is a key piece in Liu Xiao's game. I'll post more about this theory and the hints for it later. But what we need to focus on now is this. If the deal isn't with Xiafei, then it's with Xiaoling. And by him saying a new deal, that means there was a second deal before this one. And that only takes me back to episode 1, the leak of Quaid Games company info, the company owned by his family and run by Liu Min. He already agreed with her before that his identity as a client for that mission would stay secret. I have theories about this point too, but we'll talk about them later. And now let's talk about the most important scene in the trailer, Vane being in Bahati. Honestly, it shouldn't be surprising. We'll talk about Vane and Bahati in another video, but what we need to focus on is the person controlling Vane was Cheng Shaoxi. Looks like Cheng Shaoxi is going to go through a breakdown and dive into more than one image. Speaking of images, the first person Shaoxi is shown controlling and making clap is Xiafei. The clothes are the same. The stairs are the same, meaning he's at the location where the massacre happened. When he screamed at Lu Guang asking, "If we leave now, what will happen to Xiafei?" But Lu Guang stops him from staying. Maybe Cheng Shaoxi would have gotten stuck in time there. Or maybe Lu Guang realized someone Cheng Shaoxi shouldn't meet too early was about to show up. Maybe Liu Xiao, not Vane, or another danger was coming. Maybe Xiafei became a suspect in the massacre, and Cheng Shaoxi wanted to stay more than 12 hours in the image to find out where he disappeared and what happened to him, to prove his innocence. There's more than one possibility. Anyway, Shaoxi doesn't remember the truth about his father, and maybe he never knew it from the start. It clearly looks like Chang Wei-min is playing the villain role. But that might not be true. In the trailer, it seems like Cheng Weimin decided to carry the burden of everything, which created a huge misunderstanding. Xiaoxi and the villains see Weimin as guilty, but Wang and his wife see him as the good guy. Someone tried to kill everyone with fire, but it wasn't Weimin, because we saw his wife telling him the fire was planned. But then, what exactly was Weimin doing at the school? There's a line mentioned in the trailer, "I'll take care of everything, then I'll get all of you out." That reminds us of a line. Who is the savior? It seems like it's Cheng Weimin's voice. Also, he's in a scene hugging his son who's injured. But are those strangulation marks on his neck? Or blood? From how they look, I don't think it's blood from that gunshot. Of course, Weimin did bad things. And maybe to protect his family, he was forced to let them travel and abandon them. Maybe his past caught up to him. Or maybe he was forced to do certain things again. But to correct the mistake, the phrase, "the determination to correct the mistake," was mentioned in the trailer. It seems Cheng Weimin wanted to correct some mistake, and Cheng Xiaoxi thinks the mistake is his father, which is why he also wants to correct that mistake by getting rid of his father. But here's the question. Cheng Xiaoxi controls the people who take the photo. That means Vane took the photo at some point, which gives us more than one possibility. Possibility number 1, Vane took the photo at some point. Xiaoxi controlled him. Then he chased his father and discovered a secret place in the school. From the gunfire scene, the wall stones look like Bahati School's wall. And after the gunfire scene, we see more than one cell, the same place where Weimin was doing something and pointing at someone maybe. Cheng Xiaoxi followed his father and maybe found something that shocked him. Maybe there were children behind the cells. That would make him doubt his father even more. If Safei was one of the children inside, that might explain why Safei lost his memory after being shocked by Weimin and miraculously surviving the fire. And perhaps that's why he loves Vane so much, because to him, he saw Vane defending him. If this is true and Xiaoxi saw little Safei there, he'd really be motivated to shoot his father for him. Possibility 2. Vane was the boy who was held there. But that's hard to believe because Vane couldn't take a photo while he was detained. Maybe he took it some time before, then got caught. Because he saw things he shouldn't have seen. Going back to this topic, there's an interesting scene. We see Vane being controlled by someone. At first glance, a lot of people will suspect it's Cheng Weimin. But when you zoom in, this Vane looks like a doll more than a real person. Plus his kid, but the clothes he's wearing are the clothes he wears as a young man. And the person appearing behind him looks more like Lu Guang than Cheng Weimin because of the coat and shoes. That means the scene is imaginary. Maybe Lu Guang wanted to know how Vane stayed alive, so he started imagining this scene, especially since this scene appears right before Lu Guang says he isn't dead, or maybe Vane himself felt angry about how he was treated. Possibility 3. Vane was detained after he tried to shoot Weimin. If I'm not wrong, there is a child's voice saying, "Stop." Maybe it's Vane's voice. I think it's hard for us to believe that Vane was a lab rat experiment at the school. If we look closely at Vane's background, his card in Payne's album said he was born into an aristocratic family, meaning he has roots and an important family. In the trailer, his clothes are distinctive too, meaning he's from a wealthy family. Unless his father was a bad person and he was the one manipulating his son in Vane's imagination, but I don't think that's true anymore. Like I said, this resembles Lu Guang way more. I don't know why, but I think Vane took the photo as a happy memory. I mean, look at his clothes. Maybe those aren't his daily clothes, but special occasion clothes. But Cheng Xiaoxi ruined the memory. He took the gun and maybe destroyed something important to Vane. And after that, his life was ruined. Could it be that this incident is what turned Vane into what he is now, a killer? Maybe the gun was with his father to protect himself, or maybe it was with one of Vane's family members. Also, it's hard for me to believe that Weimin is a bad person, at least now, not in the past. Plus, his name literally means good person. Maybe he wanted to save the children by removing their superpowers from them behind those cells so they wouldn't be targeted. Personally, I think the era of human experiments ended with Wayman and his wife, meaning Wang, who's older, and the rest didn't suffer something similar. But Wayman decided to protect this generation. Some of them inherited powers genetically, and others suddenly developed them. And now we've reached the end of part 2 of the Season 3 trailer analysis. There will be a third part that talks about the hints regarding the fires, and also Xiaoxi's condition and what he will do. This was Sam Soma and Jana Amin with you. See you!